Hello, and welcome to reading the Wish privacy policy so that you don't have to. This segment is brought to you by Termageddon.com. We have generated tens of thousands of privacy policies and successfully kept them up to date with changing legislation. And we've also read quite a few privacy policies in the meantime. I wanted to note that anything that we talk about today should not be considered legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice, I would recommend speaking to an attorney in your area. So, what is Wish.com? Wish.com is a platform that's very similar to Temu. We've read their privacy policy before, so if you're using that platform, make sure to check that out. But Wish.com is basically an e commerce platform where you can buy anything from shoes to organizers to shower curtains for very cheap prices. It's a very popular platform. A lot of people use it to buy cheap goods. So, why is it important to read the Wish privacy policy? It's really important to read the privacy policy of any service that you sign up for, any platform that you use, because privacy policies affect your privacy and your rights. So, the privacy policy will explain, what information is being collected about you, what is done with that information, who it's being shared with, what your privacy rights are, and how you can secure your personal information. So that's why it's important to read these privacy policies. So the first thing that I noticed when going on to wish.com is that it's very difficult to find their privacy policy. On the website, I ended up having to just Google it. So if you want to read their privacy policy as well, here's the link on where you can find that. So, what personal information does Wish collect about its users? First, it collects identifiers like your name, your account ID number, email, shipping address, phone number, social network accounts, and credentials. I'm going to guess that's if you choose to sign into Wish through like your Facebook account or something like that. Your advertising ID for advertisements, device identifiers, and then when you do provide these government identifiers like your driver's license or ID. It also collects commercial information about, how you actually use their service. So like what you bought, your transaction data, some of your customer information data, like your customs clearance code, if you're in a country that requires that. And then any information related to your purchasing habits. So, what you bought, what you were thinking about buying, what you've returned, things like that. If you do buy something off of their platform, they'll also collect your financial data. So your payment method, your payment accounts, your VAT and other tax information. They'll also collect your contact information like your postal address, so like where they actually ship the items, email address, social networking, website account names, and phone numbers. They'll also collect information about your activity over the internet, so like your browsing behavior and app activity, search history. So I'm going to guess this is like how you actually interact with their website. So if I put shower curtain into the search bar, they would collect that. Or if I clicked on certain things, they would collect that too. Your IP address, device identifier, how you interact with ads, pixel tags, cookies, and web beacons. Those are usually collected for advertising and analytics purposes. Your general location and your GPS location if you decide to share that with them. And then you also inferences and user generated content. So inferences means inferences made based on the other data that they know about you. So if they know that I live in Chicago, they might infer that I'm looking for winter coats, versus if I live in California, I may not be interested in that. User generated content basically means anything that you generate on the app. So, like, for example, when you leave a review or you put in a picture with your review, things like that. So, how does Wish actually use your information? So, they use it to set up and manage your account, to collect and make payments, to recommend local features and services, to communicate with you. So, for example, like support, things like that, to provide marketing and advertising and measure analytics, to improve their app. So, like detection of bugs, errors, identification of improvements, to manage investor relations. So they may present some data to investors saying, well, our sales in this particular product have gone up 50% or something like that. To prevent, detect, and investigate fraud. And then lastly, to comply with laws and respond to any requests from law enforcement. Now, does Wish share your personal information? Yes, they do. So they share it with technical service providers like data storage, order fulfillment, so like shipment, processing payments, and marketing companies. They also share it with advertising companies and other users, so like merchants. So if you buy something from a merchant, they will let that merchant know, or other users, like you leave a review or something like that. They also may share your information with courts and business partners. So if there's like a bankruptcy, reorganization of the company, sale of the company, they also share information with law enforcement. They say that they share information with unrelated third parties for their independent use upon your express authorization. Very unclear as to what this actually means or what this would be. I'm not sure if any Wish users have actually received any emails requesting for Wish to share their information or to get express consent to share that information. I would consider this a pretty weird and very vague type of disclosure. And then they also shared information with others where disclosure is necessary for fraud prevention or law enforcement or things like that. Now, does Wish sell your personal information? It's very unclear. So the privacy policy does not say whether or not they sell personal information. So they have nothing on the privacy policy saying, we don't sell your information or we do sell your information, which is pretty strange. From the remainder of the policy, it seems like Wish is stating that they are subject to California's privacy law, the California Privacy Rights Act. And this is one of the disclosures required by that law, so it's unclear why that's not there. When you go into exercising privacy rights, they do offer the right to opt out of the share and selling of personal information. So maybe they do sell it, very unclear. Now, what privacy rights does Wish provide? So if you're a resident of the European Union or California, you may get some of these rights. So you can get a copy of your personal information, correct inaccurate information, object to the processing of personal information or restrict the processing. So basically what this means is that you could opt out of certain things, like opt out of ads or marketing or things like that. You can also ask them to delete personal information, request the categories of personal information that have been collected about you, request a list of third parties that have received the information for direct marketing. This is strange because usually the right would be to request a list of third parties with whom the information was shared or to whom the information was disclosed. But it seems like they limit it only for the purpose of direct marketing, which is strange. You can also lodge a complaint about the processing of your personal information with a data protection authority or the California Attorney General. And then you can also opt out of ads as well. So if you're from areas outside of the EU or California, it does not look like Wish would offer you any other privacy rights. You can exercise your privacy rights through an account. So if you have an account, you can correct your information or delete your account. There's also an email where you can do that as well. And then you can exercise the right to opt out of the sale or sharing of your personal information through a portal. So that's the Wish privacy policy. Definitely wish it was a little bit more clear and a little bit more detailed, but hopefully you found this helpful.